सरस्वती जय सरस्वती पाहि मां श्री सरस्वती रक्ष मां
जय सरस्वती जय सरस्वती पाहि मां श्री सरस्वती रक्ष मां
जय गुरु शिव गुरु हरि गुरु राम जगद्गुरु परम गुरु सद्गुरु शाम
जय गुरु शिव गुरु हरि गुरु राम जगद्गुरु परम गुरु सद्गुरु श्याम
ओम आदि गुरु अद्वैत गुरु अनंत गुरु ओम चिद्गुरु चिद्घन गुरु चिन्मय गुरु ओम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय
ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
दत्तात्रेय 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 पाहि मां दत्तगुरु 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 रक्ष मां
दत्तात्रेय 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 पाहि मां दत्तगुरु 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 रक्ष मां
गंगाराणि 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 पाहि मां भागीरथी 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 रक्ष मां
गंगाराणि 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 पाहि मां भागीरथी 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 रक्ष मां
हनुमन्त 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 रक्ष मां आञ्जनेय 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 पाहि मां
हनुमन्त 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 रक्ष मां आञ्जनेय 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 पाहि मां
ओम जीसस पाहि मां ओम जीसस रक्ष मां
ओम जीसस पाहि मां ओम जीसस रक्ष मां
ओम मेरी पाहि मां ओम मेरी रक्ष मां
ओम मेरी पाहि मां ओम मेरी रक्ष मां
Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Shanti, Om.
Thank you, Swamiji. It's not
Switch.
on. Yes. So Hari Om, everyone, welcome. And welcome to our revered senior Swamijis, President Swamiji and Vice President Swamiji. So I will first introduce you to Swami Yoga Sarupananda Ji, who is our president. And many of you know him very well already, but Swamiji came here in 1964, and he spent many, many years studying the Bhagavad Gita, reading the whole thing every day, and so is a well-known, in-depth expert on the Bhagavad Gita, as well as the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and Hatha Yoga and Remedial Yoga, and I'm sure most topics. And I asked Swamiji just before coming in, I thought there are some people who are new here and may not know Gurudev that well. And Swamiji once told a story that's something that happened to him that really revealed the grace and blessings of Gurudev when he was a young boy when he came. So I asked him, Swamiji, will you share this story with everyone? Because I'm sure they'll be thrilled. So Swamiji.
When he came to ashram in 1964, really I do not know anything about yoga or Vedanta. I wanted to go to Himalayas because there was a small novel which was used to come in Telugu language. It is known as Chandamama, about all the ancient scriptural stories, moral stories used to come. In that I read the Pandavas, the more righteous 5 brothers, in their last days, after winning the Mahabharata war, losing all their intimate relatives, their own sons and grandsons, they were so much tired of their life. Finally, they went to Himalayas. From Himalayas, they went to heaven. And very interesting story. After reading it, I also thought, when I was saying I want to know what is God, I traveled all over South India. Very beautiful structures of temples are there. It is like a big mountains, architectural beauty. But when I saw all those temples, the temples are beautiful, but it was controlled by the priest. When the ministers come, they go out of the first, they open the doors to sanctum sanctorum, they will take the ministers. Otherwise, poor people come, only they will have to follow timings of the temples. Then I thought, God is not only in the temples, and He must be one with the nature. Then I saw beautiful national parks, and near the dams, so many beautiful parks are there, flower gardens. But finally I thought everything is called man-made only, but God should be beyond everything. Then a curiosity came, I want to go to Himalayas because I got many friends. They won't allow me to go anywhere. In Sundays, weekdays, we used to go different places. But one day, silently went to office and then came and then took a ticket, direct ticket. It was there from Chennai to Delhi. It was 4 days journey in those days. And then I know many friends in the army also. one army compartment, when he inquired, only one berth was free. I requested the commanding officer there, can I also enter that compartment because I want to go, I have no reservation. He gladly agreed. I took last breakfast the hotel and then entered the compartment. I never came down 4 days. In Delhi cantonment, they insisted at least you must take a cup of tea when they are all going down. I will have to change the train to come to Rishikesh. Then one night I stayed in Hardwar station. The next day morning when I came to Rishikesh, I thought I will be Rishikesh in the Himalayas. Rishikesh was in those days a very small station. Now also it is there. Now new station has come recently. They named it Yoga Nagar. And the old station is there still. When I got down in the old station, I could not see not a single mountain. And then I was so much disappointed. Then I thought what to do. One of my army officer, he came to Rishikesh, took sannyas diksha and staying in Sivananda Ashram. Then thought came, let me go and meet him, at least return. When I asked the station master, I do not know much Hindi also. When I asked where is Sivananda Ashram, he said, Sida jao. It means go straight. But I do not know much Hindi. What is Sida jao, what is Rama jao? I asked him. No, Sida, Rama, not that. It is, Sida means straight. 10 minutes you walk straight, another 10 minutes you reach Sivananda Ashram. Then I walked. In those days, no special guest room, all these things. Just opposite to Gurudev's Kuti, a small room was there, one bench was there. In that one Swami was only with a small loin cloth, one towel he was lying down. And then I asked, is it Sivananda Ashram? He said, yes. Then I asked one Mr. Ramana, he is a commanding officer, he came here. No other such person. Then I thought I came in search of him. He's not there, then I will go. He inquired about me, why you have come, what is there? I told, I want to go to heaven via Himalayas, but I could not find. And so at least I will meet my friend and return. He said, you came from the long distance, at least take a cup of tea and go. Then he prepared tea and gave it to me. I took tea, then I want to pay some money. He said, no, we won't accept any money. But you came long distance, so I can't stay for 10 days and then go. Okay, I agreed. And then he said, okay, you go to your room, I will send food and take bath in the Ganges and go. He helped one boy he sent, and then I went to the room in Parvathukuti, and then 11 o'clock food came. After 4 days of taking bath, I felt so much hungry. When the food came, I took food and then slept. When I got up, it is 3 o'clock. Because 4 o'clock, he asked me to go down to meet General Secretary Krishnanji Maharaj. When I got up at 3 o'clock, some other person was also sleeping in that room. And there were only 2 cots there. In between there is a space. And then he was lying down, getting up and falling down. I looked at him. Do you have any problem? Can I help you to get up and sit? No, I'm doing yoga. He was doing cobra posture. And then I said, oh, this is yoga. Then I said, he will introduce me to another Swami. When I go again 4 o'clock to him. Then I went to Kuti. Krishnan Swami inquired about me, why you came like that. He began to laugh. Then he said, Dayan Swami also came with me. He said he will stay for 10 days and then he will do some selfless service. Then he asked, what is selfless service? No, Sridhamaji looked at it. He was having old Underwood typewriter. He said, can you type? Yes, I know that machine very well. I can type. And then he gave a piece of paper matter. I typed it. Oh, you type very fast. Can I dictate? Can you type? Yes, you dictate. And Krishnan Swami's English little difficult. Then he dictated 2, 3 words, then I typed it. Oh, you type very fast. I want you to stay. Oh. I stay, okay, I will stay for 10 days and then go. But 10 days not over, I am here. It is and in 1966, because I was staying in Rama Kutir, just below the Bhajan Hall, when rooms are there, I was staying there. In those days, there's no much rooms. Only few rooms were there. Behind the temple, there was only one block was there. All others empty, full of small Vasaka plantations, and then trees were there, Devadaru trees. Then Swamiji said, people are coming, even though it is a small room, why can't you stay in the office? And I will give that room to any guest, aged person, they can stay near the Bhajan Hall. In those days, all the programs they used to conduct only in Bhajan Hall. And then I agreed, I vacated my room. Swamiji gave that office key. See, I never give key to anybody else. This is office key. Keep it safely. Then I agreed, because more safety is I was having a sacred thread. I tied in it. That is the most safety place for me. Then it is on Guru Purnima day in 1966. Generally, I used to get up at 3 and then go and take bath, Ganges bath. And that day I went and took bath. 2 dips, third dip I did it, the entire thread was missing. Along with that, key also has gone. Then in those days, Bhajan Hall program started by 4:30. And Krishan Swamiji came, Chidanand Maharaj also came. They all said, I cannot enter the cloth, wet cloth was there, I have no proper clothing also. I was standing outside. After the morning prayers, Krishan Swamiji came, and then I was standing with the wet cloth. What is this? Is a bad woman. It's Apasakun. And then what is there? You are standing with this wet cloth. Is this way to meet her? Because generally on the auspicious days, we must meet our senior Swamis, gurus, with the proper dress and all these things. Wet cloth means it's very bad impression also. Why, what happened to you? Oh, I lost my key. I warned you. In spite of that, you have not kept your key properly. You are unfit to stay in the ashram. I will give you a duplicate key. Take whatever things you kept in that, give the key and leave the ashram and go. Then I thought, where to go, I do not know. Then I took the key, I came out. In the meantime, that same Dayanand Swamiji and Hridayanand Mataji, she was in charge of the hospital, eye hospital. Both came to meet Krishan Swamiji. Then I was keeping the key, and then she asked what happened. Now I will go to my room, because she gave Bhagavad Gita for my study. And then I said, I will return the Bhagavad Gita, I will have to go leave the ashram. What happened to you? Because I lost the key. Krishan Swamiji asked me to go away from the ashram. Hence, I am going to take my things, because I will take my Bhagavad Gita also. I will, please wait, I will bring my book and give it to you and then go. He said, what is this? The auspicious occasion, people are coming to the ashram. Why should he ask you to go now? Let us go back. Dayanand Swamiji, Mataji, they took me. He said, people are coming to the ashram. Now you are asking him to go. What is the blunder? No. Now he lost the key. All the 300 persons in the ashram lose the key. Whether he will bring money to here? So much money is necessary. And then he is unfit to be in the ashram. That Dayanand Swamiji said, what is there? You give the key to him. He will bring not only 300 keys, money, he will give more than 45 lakhs he will bring to you. Then Swamiji said, okay, take the key and go and stay there, and after 10 days you go. Yes, Swamiji, I said, okay. Then took the key, and then Mataji said, you pray to Gurudev, you pray to Ganga. Today Guru Purnima day, don't take food also, pray. Gurudev will help you. then Gangaji will help you. Then on that day, I never took food. Throughout the night, I was semi-conscious of sleep. Then I prayed at 3 o'clock, and generally I used to go to Ganges Bank. I feel it is a dream or some semi-thing. Gurudev Sivananda, okay, Oji, go and take your key. Then immediately woke up and ran to the place where I took bath. There Ganges water nearly 10 feet was less on that day. Sand was there, and then in the sand, small white metal was shining. Then I saw it is, when you put that metal along the rock, that thread was there surrounding the rock, that key was in the sand. Then I took the key, and when I took the key, that thread also came. I was so happy. It is Gurudev and Ganges helps. If our prayers are very sincere, God helps. Our Gurudevs on that day when I went, 6 o'clock I went to Gurudev's kutir, Swamiji, I got the key. Oh, Gurudev is with you. You've been awesome. Like that. Sincere prayer, God helps. Gangaji helps. From that day onwards, daily 3 times I used to Ganges. Morning, I will take Ganges bath. Before lunch, I will go to Ganges. Night after satsang, also go to Ganges Bank and do prayer, because Ganges is really mother. And Bhagavad Gita also is mother divine. Bhagavad Gita is such normally our mothers conceives us, after 10 months delivers, she also make us to sit, make us to walk, make us to speak. And Bhagavad Gita is such, teaches us how to breathe, how to think, what to eat, how to live. More than our divine mother, Bhagavad Gita is a real divine mother. Hence, Krishna said, read Bhagavad Gita. There is no other scripture to be read. Read Bhagavad Gita daily. Then I used to read all the Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. It used to take nearly 3 hours. After some time, it becomes 2.5 hours. On that day, Bhagavad Gita Jayanti, or Niliptanjam was repeating it so fast, everything finished by 2.5 hours. And Bhagavad Gita is such, this week we are very, very blessed. We got Gita Jayanti, now Christ Jayanti, and tomorrow there's Dattatreya Jayanti, and Vishwanath Mandir Sacred Pratishtha also, 31st December. Gurudev started the Mahamantra Kirtan on 3rd December, because on those days when the temple was ready and Swamiji wanted to inaugurate the Vishwanath Mandir, many of the priests, Orthodox people said, this southern course of the sun is inauspicious. After 14th January, it's called the northern course of the sun, Uttarayan. Then that is the proper place to inaugurate the temple. Swamiji, Gurudev Swami Sivananda Maharaj's conviction is, it is called Vishwanath Mandir, Lord of the Universe. And that temple is for all gods. In no other temple you can see Devi in one side, Rama, the Lakshmana and Hanuman on one side, in between Lord Krishna, beautiful statue of Lord Krishna, then other side, right side, Rama and Sita, another side, the Devi is there, one side Ganesha is there, in the center Shivalinga is there. And all the gods are there, but we repeated so many names of God in the beginning prayer. God is one, because hunger is one, but taste differs. Hence, there are so many forms of God. To whichever form of God your mind likes, so that total mind and total being will go there. Hence, select any one of the things. It is called Ishta Devata. And mantras also there according to gods, forms of gods. Truth is one, God is one, taste difference. Names also appears to be different, but essential meaning is the one and the same. Hence, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, Lord Jesus, they are all different types. The God-man came into human form, but human being never believes even such people. Look at the life of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, Lord Christ. People never believed because they are all only in sensory level. Bhagavad Gita, it tells, the 3rd chapter, 42nd verse, Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhya paramanaha, manasastu parabuddhi, yo buddhe parasastu saha. It means superior to the body are the senses. Superior to the senses is the mind. Superior to the mind is the intellect. Even that which is superior to the intellect is the self. Self is everything, it is all pervading. Hence, there is no need to do anything, concentrate anything. Focus your mind on our own body. From head to foot, it is one unit of consciousness. There are 2 eyes, they will never see 2 things. There are 2 legs, they will never go in 2 directions. There are 10 fingers in the hands, appears to be 10. If you prick with a pin, total being feels pain. Hence, we appears to be different names and forms, different from blade of grass to even the Lord Creator Brahma, appears to be different, but is all of one consciousness. That Lord Rama declared, Krishna declared, Buddha declared, and Christ also declared. But look at the human predicament. In spite of their so much dedicated their life, human mind is the same. It never changes. But saints like our Gurudev Swami Sivananda comes, they give such conviction to our normal, basic, unintelligent, foolish minds. Repetition of God's name, if you repeat it, you will have success in every walk of life. Not only the key, you will get everything. Hence, look at it. In these days, if you want to go purchase some fruits, some 1 kilo of vegetables, how costly it is. Look at Gurudev's grace. Daily average 300 persons take food. So much tons of vegetables come, so much things. Swamiji said, for a spiritual aspirant, food, shelter, clothing is a must. It should be provided freely, no charge. Because of that intense desire of worshipful Gurudev, we are all sitting and enjoying so many freedom, so many comforts, without any difficulty. Hence, God is, I also, when you sit in Samadhi Mandir, in the Samadhi Mandir, big letters, he said, be good and do good. That is the essence of all the scriptures, all the religions. We'll have to be good and we'll have to do good. For that repetition of God's name, feeling the faith of one's own guru or saints is a very, very important thing. Christmas retreat is only for that. We must believe in God's name, feel the presence of divinity. Lord Christ, how much they crucified. It is said, one father told me when I was in Rome, when Christ was in the cross, and one of the warrior, he want to know whether really dead or not. With a spear, he want to prick the heart and see. At that time, Lord opens his eyes. This is not the way to enter the heart. It is through love, not with spear. Hence, love is the only way to attain the blessings of the divine. That love will come only feeling the presence of the divine, feeling the presence of our own self, because it is not something unknown to us. Prana is one, truth is one, mind is one. Hence, if you repeat God's name sincerely, honestly, and we will feel that divine presence in every name and form. Hence, we can also be good, we can also do our good, our best in our life by following the footsteps of worshipful Gurudev Swami Sivananda Maharaj. Is my humble prayer to all.
Blessings. Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you so much. So, Swamiji is very busy, and so we will excuse him. Yes, thank you so much, Swamiji, for coming. And Nirliptanandaji will give us another triple blessings. Yes. Yes. Please, yes, yes. So I was so looking forward to hearing Swami Yogaswaminandaji's story that I actually forgot to welcome all our online participants. So Swamiji will have to welcome them as well. Yes, everybody who, they may not be listening live right now, it's Christmas Day or the middle of the night for many people, but they will be listening at some point or other. So welcome to all our online participants, because they're all part of the Shivananda family, and they're all part of this retreat as well. And I am absolutely very, very happy to introduce you to Swami Nirliptanandaji. Again, most of you know Swamiji very well. And he also has a very unique background and very unique perspective to share with us. And Swami Yogaswaminandaji, he came as a young boy, but Swami Nirliptanandaji, he lived the more traditional Vedic way of life, except the marriage part. But he was an IAS officer for many years. That is the cream of, I guess, the Indian education. And only few people, the most brilliant, are selected to take the IAS. Swamiji was one of them. And he reached the very top, it's a government thing, reached the very top of the bureaucratic, we would call it ladder of success in the West, but whatever we call it, he was at the top. And what was unique about him is that even though that was his position in life, he was still a renunciate. And I remember when my father and we first met him in 1983, 81 or 82, Swamiji took us to Orissa. And we found out that Swamiji, he had the big house that went with the position, but he used to sleep on the floor and ride a bike to work. So he was very much renunciate. And Swamiji has been part of the Christmas retreat since 1996 when we started them. And we always invite him to give the first talks of the retreat, because Swamiji always gives a very in-depth picture of whatever the theme is. Swamiji goes into it very deeply, gives a very in-depth view of it. And so it is perfect for our first talk. And Swamiji, we are so happy to have you here, and so happy you came to give blessings to all of us, and as well as the online group. So I turn it over to you, Swamiji.
Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Gungurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Dum Durgayai Namaha. Om Sri Sharavanabhavaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Sri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Atmane Namaha. Revered Self, all the participants of the spiritual retreat, we call it Christmas spiritual retreat. And we extend to you all a very warm and hearty welcome to our ashram and also to this spiritual retreat. It is a very nice thing that all of you are spiritual seekers and you have also come with determination to be in this spiritual retreat and also to imbibe something whatever you are looking for or whatever will be available here from the spiritual point of view. So it's a very, very nice thing, and that all of you have decided to come to Shivananda Ashram and also to take part in this spiritual retreat. It's a very good thing, very auspicious thing. It is only by God's grace that one gets such opportunity of taking part in the spiritual programs, spiritual retreat, any spiritual activity. So this is how it is. We should consider ourselves blessed that God's blessings are with us, and we also very sincere about it. Sincerely you have come from all from a long distance, far away countries, and from many countries you have all come here. It's a very nice thing. And as you know, every year we have this spiritual retreat, Christmas retreat. It is once in a year. And this spiritual retreat, and as it says, its main focus is only spirituality. Here we don't do talking of anything else. Here only spirituality is the theme, and we talk only about spirituality. Now this spiritual retreat, spiritual things, spirituality, these are all the most important things for us. We must all remember it. It is not like any other occupation, something else as we do in the world. We do something, some business, some job, something to get some money, and that is necessary. And that is why we also engage in that. But that is a very ordinary thing. It doesn't have much value except that it gives us sustenance. We are able to maintain ourselves in this life, in the world, and that is why that is very necessary. We can't do away with it. But at the same time, it has only a limited value. That only helps us to continue living, to sustain ourselves, to meet our all material requirements in the life. Whatever is required, that is very, very necessary and essential. Without that, we cannot take any other step. First thing is, we have to see that our body and soul are together. They are intact. Keeping body and soul together, that is our first task in this world, in our life. So that is very, very necessary. That is the first step. Without that, second step will not come. We cannot, you see, if you want to go to the upstairs, to the stairs, to the roof, you cannot just jump from here and go in one leap. You go up to that, you are there in the roof. That is not possible. We have to go step by step. We take the ladder, and then if the steps are there, we go one by one like this. Similarly, in the spiritual path also, we cannot be in a hurry. We cannot skip anything. Every step has to be properly calculated and carefully taken. Then you see we will be able to reach the destination. This is what we must remember. So this is very necessary. So the material part, the physical things which are very necessary for our life, they are also equally important. We cannot get rid of them. We cannot do away with them. We cannot also, you see, be able to proceed further without attending to our spiritual, our physical needs, material needs. Economic support is necessary. That is it. But that has only a limited value. It will only enable us to sustain our life, live comfortably, and then we will not have any problem in the world in life. Everything will be, but that is only one aspect. That is a secondary part. That is we cannot say it is inferior, but it is a little lower value it has got. All the same, it is very necessary. It is very important. We cannot afford to ignore that. That has to be properly taken care of. Then our eyes will go looking a little beyond. So we will be able to look for something else. Otherwise, we will not be able to, we will be so much bogged down with all these things which are required for us, all our material requirements and things which are immediately required, they have to be attended to. So that is very necessary. And spiritual seekers, as spiritual seekers, we cannot say that, no, I am a spiritual seeker, what have I to do with these things? I have heard from the scriptures also that, no, that is all not too much, not so very important, no, doesn't have so much of value. We should not think like that. That is also equally important. Because if that is properly taken care of, then we will be able to think something beyond. We will be able to go beyond this confines of our body. And we will be also able to think beyond that. Otherwise, our attention will be always, fixed in our body only for maintenance of our life, for attending to all our, these material requirements, family requirements, obligations, all things they are also equally important. If we give attention to that, if we are able to take care of them, then we will be freed from the hold of those requirements. Then we will be able to take this, we must remember. Every spiritual seeker, although our goal is different, it is higher, but first we have to make the foundation. The background has to be there, the basis has to be there. That basis is our material satisfaction. Meeting all our material requirements, this we must know. Otherwise, supposing you say that I will go to Shivananda Ashram, I will stay there, I will do spiritual sadhana, etc. First thing is, from where you will get food. Of course, in our ashram, food is provided. Gurudev has been so kind to us, and as our Swamiji just now told, he has made all these arrangements here. Everything is there, etc. That is true. But even if it is there, we need it. We have to do something, at least to go to the dining hall and then take food. So that is a must. We cannot do away with it. This we must remember. So material side, our taking care of our physical body, it is also necessary. But at the same time, we must not give too much of value to this, too much of importance to this. Not too much always thinking only of the body, of eating, drinking, and not drinking, not the other sense. Eating, maintaining our life and etc. That need not be the highest priority, but equally it is important. Something more is there, this we must remember. So, if you meet these basic requirements, if basic things have been properly organized, properly met, then we will be able to give our attention to something higher. This is what we must remember. We should never neglect our body. Saint Francis of Assisi, he used to say that this is the brother ass. Body he used to call it is brother ass. What does the ass do? It carries the load. So our body also must be in a position to take the load of our spiritual practices. If it is kept properly, then only it will bear the burden of our spiritual practices. This is what is there. So brother ass, he used to say. He is my brother. His support is necessary, his help is necessary. If that is available, then I will be able to think something else. At least he will carry our load. You can walk freely. The ass will actually, or donkey, he will take all those things, bear the load. Our body is meant for that. And without the washerman would be there, and washermen have these donkeys, or ass, what you call it, donkeys. So there are all these clothes, etc., which are there either for drying or for delivering to the customer, etc. Donkey actually takes away all that. The burden is taken by the donkey. Similarly, in our spiritual practice also, we must remember that body must be kept fit. It should be in good condition. It should be able to be with us, to carry us through our spiritual practices. And it is also, if that is okay, then we can give our attention to something other than this, or higher things. So it is our primary task as spiritual seekers to see that the body is kept in good condition. It should be healthy condition. And for that, you see, you must have this proper food is necessary. We must also have this proper exercises, this yoga also. This what Swami Yogeswaran was saying, that somebody was, this is lying down, then getting up. In his own way, very nicely he explained those things. So, but then that is also necessary, so that our body is kept fit. That means a little exercise is necessary. Some health, proper food also should be there. Proper rest is also required. Otherwise the body will fall sick. If we don't take proper rest, we can't say that, no, I am a spiritual seeker, I have to do meditation, I have to do japa, I have to do all that, etc. That is not enough. That is necessary, but that has to be supplemented and supported by our physical body. The body has to be kept in proper condition. This also we must always keep in mind. Otherwise what happens, our attention will be always in the body. When we have this, supposing you see it is not in good health, then some problem will be there, our attention will be there only. Even if we sit for meditation, if you are a very great adept and you see you have mastered your mind and straight away you will go to this meditation stage, even if you have got so much of physical ailments and pain, etc., that is a very utopian thinking. It doesn't happen with everybody. Very few people can do that, etc. So that is why body must be kept in good condition. Swami Shivananda Maharaj used to say that when he was doing his spiritual sadhana, at that time every day he used to around this bhajan hall. You have seen bhajan hall? Around bhajan hall, you see he used to go for a sprint, like that he used to say. That means a little running. Around the bhajan hall every day he would be doing running. Apart from this, you see this physical, this yogasanas and physical yoga exercises which he was doing. In addition to that also he was doing this every day, doing a little fast running also. That is just to keep the body fit, in good healthy condition. It should also be strong. For that we must have proper food also, good sattvic food, pure food should be taken. Like that, you see, we have to keep our body in good condition. For success in the spiritual path, as spiritual seekers, we must think that this is very, very essential for us. That is actually the base. That is our support. If that is okay, then our attention, mind will be straight away able to go wherever we want to fix it. So that will be there. That is very necessary. And this, we are in our life, you see, what do we want, all of us? We want happiness. Each one of us. That is the basic quest of everybody. Everybody wants only happiness. If you want yourself, ask yourself, what do you want ultimately? Is it happiness or something else? Everybody. That will be the only answer. Ultimately, you may say that I want to have food. I will have some sweets, nice sweets we will have. I will have some good cakes. All those things you will say that this is what I want, etc. Why do you want that? Because you think that that will give me happiness. Anything that we do in this world, it is only for getting happiness. That is the basic quest of every human being. Even these animals also, their kind of happiness, it's a little different, but they also want to be satisfied, contented and happy. And they say, their reasons, whatever things will give them happy, make them happy, that they will do. But we as human beings, we want only happiness. Anything that we do in this world, from the birth from the moment we have got our awareness and consciousness and understanding. Since that time till now or till death, we want only happiness and nothing else in our life. Everything that we do, that is aimed at getting happiness. We think that probably if I do this, I will get happiness. That is why I do it. You have thought that if I go to spiritual retreat, I will get happiness. Your way of happiness, whatever is your understanding of happiness, that is why you have come here. So like that, you can apply this to anything. Whatever we are doing, it is only for getting happiness. Do you want sorrow, suffering, misery, difficulty, trouble? None of us. We want only happiness. And happiness where it should not be mixed with anything else. What can be the other thing which will be mixed with happiness? Sorrow, suffering, the opposite of it. We don't want that. We want only pure happiness. And that is our basic quest. Everybody wants that happiness. Now this happiness, how we will get it? So what we want in our life? First thing is, we want to be free from all suffering, sorrow, misery, difficulty. This is one aspect, the negative aspect of it. The other thing is, we want positively happiness. We want only happiness. We should be free from unhappiness and sorrow, and we also want to have only happiness. Now this type of happiness, this is our basic quest. So these two things are necessary for each one of us. And we must also remember that this happiness which we want, where to get this happiness? Where can we find this happiness? If we ask this question, things which are there, we have got our own body. Probably we will get happiness from this body. That is one way of looking at it, or one possibility that we will get happiness from that, etc. Other thing is, other than that, we have got our family members and family and etc. Some relatives are there and friends and etc. Probably I will get happiness from them. This is another possibility. That means I may get happiness from this world. Either happiness from within myself, or I will get happiness from the world, including family, society and everything else. Now, if you see that, what will happen? Do you get happiness? The nature of the world is such that a little happiness is there and actually there. Swami Shivananda Maharaj says that you see in this world, 1 ounce of pleasure is mixed with tons of pain. This is the nature of the world. 1 ounce of happiness or pleasure is mixed with tons of pain. And this is a emphatic declaration. In the Gita also Lord Krishna says, this world is an abode of sorrow. Dukkhalayam, like that Sanskrit word is there. Alaya means, you see, it's a storehouse of all sorrow. Dukkha is sorrow or pain. Alaya is storehouse. So what do you get from this world? We will get only whatever is there in that store. That store only you can go and get, for that only you will be able to get. So the nature of the world is like this. World cannot give us happiness because it itself does not contain happiness. It does not have happiness. And so how can you get happiness from there? In the Gita, it has been declared, categorically stated that the world is full of sorrow. It's an abode of sorrow. Dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. That means it is impermanent. It is not eternal. It is non-eternal. So these two characteristics are there for the world. Though it is an abode of sorrow and it is temporary. So if this is the position, how can you get any happiness from this world? And the other thing is, whatever happiness we want, it's our quest. It is not that today I will be a little happy and tomorrow anything can happen, that will be all right for me. That we don't want. We want this happiness. Today's happiness should be there tomorrow also. That means continuously we want only happiness and nothing else. And we also want to be free from this sorrow, suffering, misery, trouble, difficulty. It is not welcome to anybody. Nobody wants these things, etc. So this is what is there. So the kind of happiness that we want, it should be continuously always there, and it should be unmixed with pain and sorrow. I think you all agree, or you don't agree with this? This is what we want. Each one of us, we want only happiness. We don't want sorrow. We don't want any suffering, etc. And on the other hand, the world can give us only sorrow and nothing else, because it has only sorrow and nothing else. If you go to some place and they ask for it, that means you are asking at the wrong door, knocking at the wrong door. So happiness is not there. It is only full of sorrow. This we must remember. It is not what Gita says. It is a categorical, you see, this declaration of all the scriptures. And all the sages and saints, they are unanimous on this particular, you see, this view. Though world does not contain happiness. It has only sorrow and suffering and misery. That is why all these great saints and sages, etc., they have left everything. They are not after this going for this getting worldly happiness, nobody, because they knew that worldly happiness is a misnomer. It will not be available at all. It is not there at all. So world cannot give us that. So they have all tried to look for happiness where it will be available. Where can it be available? This happiness will be available only that which is not within the parameters of the world, which is not within the confines of this world, which is not under the play of the worldly forces, which is beyond that. There only you can get this happiness. And that, by definition or by understanding, you can call anything only by the Supreme Being, by God. God alone, He is the creator of this world, and He is beyond this world. Creator is not the same as the creation. It is different in one way. Although in another we will say that God alone is this, that is a different philosophical explanation, or a philosophical way of looking at it. But the point is, you see, it is only God who is beyond this world, and happiness will be available only in God, in the Supreme Being, in Almighty, God Almighty. In whatever way you say it means the same thing. Who is beyond this world? He is not within this world. He is not under this play of worldly forces. He is beyond that. That is why for spiritual seekers, the goal is trying to reach God. As spiritual seekers, and whatever we are now thinking of in this retreat, it is only how to reach God, where we can get complete happiness. And there will be no sorrow or suffering, which we don't want. That also we don't want. We want to be free from that. And we should also have this happiness, continuous happiness, eternal happiness. Always, you see, this happiness only should be there. This is our wish. Each one of us wants only this one. So this is what you must think. I hope this is your aim, or you want something else. You want happiness, or you want something contrary to it? Everybody. That is, even if you ask a small child, he will also tell the same thing. Same answer he will give. So this is what it is. So our goal is God. Our goal is the Supreme Being, who is beyond this world. There is no tinge of sorrow in God. God is free from all that. God is outside this. And if somehow or other we can reach Him, you can say kingdom of heaven and whatever it is all the same thing. Different way of explaining things. So that is our goal. As spiritual practices or spiritual retreat also is there, and whatever you are as spiritual seekers we are looking for, that is only to reach that. That is our goal. We must remember, all the participants of the spiritual retreat, we want that, you see, as spiritual seekers, we want God. Somehow or other we must reach God. We must go beyond all sorrow and suffering. And we must have complete, intense, and then continuous happiness. Unalloyed happiness. This is our goal. And this goal actually is also called liberation only. Liberation means, you see, we will be free from all sorrow and suffering, and then we will have this, you see, continuous, intense happiness. We call it bliss in spiritual ways. Bliss means, you see, pure happiness and nothing else. It is intense happiness. That is bliss. So this is what is there. And then, so it is only when we have God realization, or we are free from this, we attain liberation, we will have this thing. The happiness which we want, that will come only when we have liberation. Liberation, what is there, we will discuss separately. But here this we must understand. That means how to reach God. God is our goal. Or a spiritual seeker, he seeks God. And that is why the spiritual term, you see, it signifies only that something to do with God. The God is our goal. I want to reach God. I want to go to Him. This is the, etc. This we must remember. So, as spiritual seekers, and then if you have liberation, what will happen? There are three things which you will, in our scriptures it is said that, you see, when one has liberation, there will be cessation of all sorrow. That means no more sorrow at all, etc. Sarva dukkha nivritti, like that it is there. That means, you see, we will be free from all sorrow. That is one goal, one aspect of our goal. That means we should be free from all sorrow. This will come only when we have liberation. That is one thing. And then we say that we will have intense happiness, supreme happiness, supreme bliss. That is called Paramananda Prapti. Paramananda means supreme happiness. And then the Prapti, Paramananda Prapti. A person who attains that state of liberation, he will get this supreme bliss. Paramananda Prapti, attainment of supreme bliss. The third advantage, third benefit of getting liberation is Nitya Trupti. That means, you see, he will always be satisfied. He has no more want. He doesn't need anything else. He doesn't hanker for anything else. He doesn't, you see, this bother about anything else, etc. So he is eternally satisfied. Nitya Trupti, eternal satisfaction. A person who attains this liberation or God realization, it is the same thing. When one has God realization, he will have liberation. If he has liberation, he will also attain God. It is the same thing. Two ways of looking at the same thing. So when one has got this liberation, he will have cessation of all sorrow. That means freedom from all sorrow. And then eternal, attainment of supreme bliss. And third thing is, he will have eternal satisfaction. Eternally he will be satisfied. There will be no further hankering, no further want, no further need. He will not need anything else. Whether it is there or it is not there, he is not bothered about it. He is not worried about it. It doesn't affect him in any way. So this is what is there. So these three things are there. So if we have liberation, then we will be able to reach that stage. All these three things which we want, we will get only when we have liberation. So as spiritual seekers, we must always remember that that is our goal. We want to be free from all sorrow and suffering. We want to have supreme bliss. And also we reach a stage where we will be eternally satisfied, etc. I think you all want it. You agree with it or not? Yes. Yes. At least whether we are able to reach it or not, at least we can agree for that. So this is our goal. But this is a very serious thing. This is very important, most important. And our life is meant only for that. Human life has been given to us only for this purpose. God has been so merciful. He is so kind to us. He has granted the boon of this human birth. This reaching the state of liberation, or having this, you see, the freedom from all sorrow, and having supreme bliss or attainment of eternal satisfaction. This is the prerogative of the human beings only. Nobody else can get it. Who else are there? Either the gods who are there in heaven, or the other, you see, the species which are there, you see, this the subhuman species which are there, animals, birds, and etc., who don't have so much of enlightenment and knowledge and etc. That is one category. Above us are the gods, and we in the middle are human beings, etc. Gods cannot get that. This supreme bliss, this liberation, etc., it is not within the reach of God. No, we are not talking about God, the supreme being. We are gods who are in heaven. Those persons, they cannot have these things, etc. Because those who have some good deeds here, something good they have done, some charitable activity, some helping others, etc., these people, etc., by virtue of their meritorious deeds, they go to the state where they will have always happiness only. All comfort, all, you see, conveniences, and everything will be available. That is we call heaven. Not the kingdom of heaven, that's a different thing. It is our heaven. We have heaven above where the other immortal gods are there, etc. And then the third category is we, second category is the human beings. Third category is the other subhuman species, animals, birds, insects, and all those things. These are all, you see, they don't have too much of consciousness, is not there. Their knowledge is not there, etc. So they are things. So gods cannot get this liberation, because whatever good deeds they have done here, they have to go to a place where they will have enjoyment for that. They will enjoy all the good things only. And then, so that is why it is called heaven. Heaven in the other one, as distinguished from our earth or our mortal plane. That is heaven. There they go. There they remain as gods, celestial beings. They enjoy everything there. All good things will be available. That is all sense pleasure only. Everything is there. All comfort, everything will be there. So that is, so the question may come, one may ask, what is wrong with it? Why you should not have that, etc. We should also go to that. So you enjoy everything, etc. Very nice. Everything nice will be there. There is no sorrow. There is no suffering. And then all comfort will be there. You will have a very nice time there, etc. Is it not worth going there? All of us should go there. But then, you see, there is a catch there. You see, there you say that you can stay there so long as your meritorious deeds are there. It is called punya. Punyas which are there, you say good deeds you have done. The results of that, the moment of that good deeds is there, that is why you are there. So long as it is there, you will be there. Once it is all exhausted, you are no more wanted there. You will be actually thrown out from there. We have to come to this world, back to square one. This is what is there. So going to heaven for enjoyment of all the good deeds that we have done is not going to solve our problem. We have to come back to this world. So why to go there and then with so much effort you will go to the heaven there, etc., and again to come back to this world. Like this snakes and ladders, etc., as it happens. You reach the top point, you unfortunately get to you see this mouth of a snake, and then you come back to square one. We will have to do like that only, etc. It is no good. So that is why it says in the Gita also, when your meritorious deeds are exhausted, you have to come back to this world. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. Like that it is there in the Gita. So this is what we have to come back. So going to heaven is not going to solve our problem. It will be there only, very much the same problem will be there. This we must have. So let us not think of going there. And then the third thing is animals. So gods go to the heavens. It is only to have enjoyment. Enjoyment cannot give us liberation. Enjoyment will give us some satisfaction. And on the other hand, it will, you see, bind us with attachment to all these good things there. goodies are there. All the, you say, pleasant things are there, nice things are there, etc. We get so much attachment. Gods cannot do any, you see, this. For having liberation, we have to do spiritual practices. We have to attend the spiritual retreat here, which gods cannot do that. They don't have any opportunity for that. And they also will not have the inclination to do all the spiritual. It's a little tough thing that we are doing here. So gods cannot do all that. Their mind will not go there. Why to have all that, etc. So gods do not do any spiritual practices. They don't attend any spiritual retreat like this. So it is only the prerogative of the human beings that they are thinking of God. They are thinking how to get liberation, how to be free from all this sorrow and suffering, how also to attain eternal bliss or happiness. How it is sentient human beings only, a little enlightened, they only think of all these things, etc. So that way, all the participants of the spiritual retreat are really blessed. It is God's grace, that God's blessing that we have this inclination to be free from this worldly process. So gods cannot do that which spiritual retreat participants can do. This is what we must remember that. And that is why gods also a little, who has got a little understanding is, oh, why I have come here, etc. How I will be born on the earth plane as a human being. Gods actually pine for this. They always want it, etc. So that way you see how we are superior to gods in heaven. And because they come here, they want to come here in order to do spiritual practices. By God's blessing, we are already here. We don't have to make any effort for that, or reach another plane to do some spiritual practice. That is not necessary for us. We are already there. Everything is available. We just start, keep on going from here. That is what it is. And as you know, you see, other animals, etc., they cannot have this. What do they do? Animals and other creatures, the subhuman species, they only, you see, their life is only for suffering. Whatever mistakes they have committed in this earth plane, as human beings, supposing they have made some mistakes, something wrong, they have done it, etc., as a result of that, they have to be born in this subhuman species. So there, because of the mistakes they have committed, they will have to undergo all suffering. You know that if you see any animal or anything, etc., how much suffering they have got. Whether you see the monkeys or the donkeys or these dogs, everybody, how much they have to have suffering. They are not very sure from there they will get the next food. Next you see that is there. But we are all satisfied. Everything already well, you see, arranged for human beings. We make our own arrangements and then prepare for the future also, make arrangements for the future. The animals cannot do that. They have to live for every day. And then they don't know from where they will get food. And secondly, their own security, personal safety. We must be observing all that. They are subject to all this. They have to face all those things. As subhuman, this species, as the creatures who are born as other than human beings, they have to undergo a lot of suffering. And because of their lack of knowledge, because of ignorance, they cannot think of having, you see, liberation. That is not possible for them. It is only spiritual seekers who have come to this Shivananda ashram, they are thinking of this. This spiritual practice we have to do. We have to get liberation. We have to have God realization. All these ideas are coming only as human beings. And it is possible only, this liberation is possible only for human beings. This we must remember. That is why they say that to get a human birth is very, very rare. It is a special blessing of God. It is by God's blessing that we are born as human beings, and with the first thing. Secondly, we have got the inclination or eagerness to get liberation, to get God realization, to do spiritual practices. This is another blessing of God for us. So you have got all those things. First thing is, we have got human beings. That means God has already given us one blessing. We are sure of that. Second thing, you have participated in the spiritual retreat. So as spiritual seekers, we have got the second blessing already. Blessing from God. And the third blessing is also which comes only by God's blessing. But that is actually the shelter of a taking refuge under a good spiritual guide, spiritual teacher, preceptor. Mahapurusha Sansraya, like that it is there. So to have this guidance, because we know we have to go proceed in the spiritual path. We will have liberation is our goal, but what will you do to reach that goal? How will you reach that? We don't have any idea about that. It is only the spiritual preceptor will tell us. He will say, you go this way, you will be able to reach this. So this guidance from a spiritual master, from the spiritual preceptor, that is also God's blessing only. So if we have all these three, we should think that we have got a blessing from God. We must remember, that is why it is said, Shankaracharya has said that. So, durlabham trayam avaito devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha sansraya. Like that in one sloka he says, it is that three things are very, very rare to get in this world. And these three things come only by the blessing of God. First thing is to have the human birth. We are all human beings, so we have got that one blessing already. God has blessed us. Second one is to have this, you see, mumukshutvam. That means eagerness to get liberation, to be liberated, to be free from the worldly process, from sorrow. In whatever way we say, it is like this. So that is the second blessing. All the spiritual seekers have normally this aim, how to have liberation, how to be free from this particular all suffering and sorrow. So that is the second blessing. That is also by God's blessing only. Second thing. The third thing is that you see to have the guidance from a spiritual preceptor. If you have a spiritual preceptor, if you are following somebody, one spiritual preceptor is as good as another. They are all the same, at the same level. And their guidance is sufficient for us. So this we must remember. If we have the guidance from any spiritual preceptor, then we see that we have got the third blessing from God also. So these three things are there. I think we have got all these three things. You see this. Those who are in the spiritual retreat now, we are blessed that God has blessed us thrice. We have got the human beings as human birth. We have got the desire to be liberated, desire to have this God realization, desire to have free from all sorrow. That is the second blessing. And third thing, guidance. Those three things are there, which is very, very necessary. And then we are fortunate that we have got all these things. Now, we are supposed, if we have got all the three things, three blessings from God, what else is required? So we don't have to do anything and just sleep. Should we do that? No, that is just the beginning. That is the basic thing. These basic things have been provided, we have got it, we are lucky that way, we are fortunate. But then, now our journey starts. We have to start walking in the spiritual path. We have to go towards the goal. We have to keep on steadily moving, step by step, in our own way. If you go that, so we must keep moving. We must proceed in the spiritual path. We must try to do our spiritual practices, whatever we understand. The details are there, these are all necessary. So not remaining static and being satisfied, complacent with whatever three we have got, etc. No, these three are only our equipments. We must know how to make use of it. Second, we must proceed, we must do something with them. And that is doing our spiritual practices. If we have these three things, we are lucky. So as spiritual seekers, those who are participating in the spiritual retreat, we must remember that we have got blessings of God. All the three are available to us. And now we must be very sincere. Swami Shivananda Maharaj says, you know that you see this world, it is very difficult to get a human birth. He says that therefore try your best to realize in this birth. Swami Shivananda Maharaj clearly says in simple terms, it is very difficult to get a human birth. Therefore try your best to realize in this birth. This is what he is advised to all of us. This we must remember. So now we must proceed. And this proceed is doing this, how to attain liberation, how to attain God realization. All the spiritual techniques which are there, those must be, you see, resorted to by us. We must try to apply all those things, practice those things, proceed on those things, slowly and steadily. And then know very clearly also what is my goal, how I will proceed. Whatever guidance you have got, whatever instructions you have received from your spiritual teacher, spiritual master, we must hold on to that and put them all into practice. If we do that, and steadily and as quickly as possible, as much as we can do, to that extent we will get our benefit. The results will come to us. This we must remember. In the spiritual practice, just as anything, if you do something, then only you can expect a result. And in spiritual practice also, it is all the more applicable. It is very valid. It is necessary. Whatever we do, that only we'll get as the result. So, as spiritual seekers, we must always. Therefore, Swami Shivananda Maharaj says, therefore, be up and doing in yogic sadhana. You will attain immortality, he says. So, as a spiritual seeker, you'll do all this. Be up and doing. Then start doing it. Don't stop it. And then you say, don't relax your efforts. You just continue like this. If you do like this, then you will attain immortality. You will become immortal. That means we will attain liberation. So this is what we must do. We have to do yoga practices. All the different kinds of yoga we have to practice. If we practice yoga, if you are in the path of yoga, if you go on doing it as much practice as possible, then we will reach the goal. This is the advice of Swami Shivananda Maharaj. This is what we must remember as spiritual seekers, and be very sincere, be up and doing like that, he says. Be up and doing in spiritual practices, in yogic sadhana, you will attain immortality or liberation. So you will attain liberation, like that he says. You will attain salvation, like that he says. This we must remember. If we keep always these things in us, and then think that, you see, we are blessed, we have got, you see, God has actually specially blessed us, and so now we must make full use of it, try to make the best use of it, and so we are able to proceed in the spiritual path, continue with the spiritual practices with all sincerity, and we can reach our goal. That should be our aim. So thank you very much. May the blessings of God and Gurudev Swami Shivananda Maharaj be upon all of us, and many thanks for your kind, patient listening also. Thank you so much. And so let us all remember that, and we should consider ourselves fortunate that God has given us this opportunity of attending this spiritual retreat, and we should try to make the best of it, and for our own benefit, for our own spiritual advantage. And so wish you all the best. May the blessings of God and Gurudev Swami Shivananda Maharaj and all sages and saints, and the blessings of Jesus Christ be upon all of us, so that we realize the importance of the spiritual practice, spiritual retreat, and make the best use of it. Thank you all. May God bless us all. May the blessings of Gurudev Swami Shivananda Maharaj be upon all of us. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Pranam.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. That was double, triple blessings for us today. Thank you so much for coming. So So I may say a few words about the theme. So Swamiji, you don't need to stay for that. Yes, you're
We'll take leave of you.
yes.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.
Thank you so much.
Pranam,
Thank
pranam,
you so
pranam.
much for coming,
Oh.
and thank you so much for that beautiful blessing for all of us.
Thanks a lot. Thank
double,
you very much.
Double, triple, and triple,
Thank-
triple.
Thank you very much. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Swamiji.
All the best to all of you, and Merry Christmas to all of you. Hari Om Tat Sat.
So, So traditionally, when we have the spiritual retreat in our orientation meeting, I'll usually say a few words about the theme of the retreat after we receive the blessings from our senior Swamis. And fortunately, I can condense it some because Swamiji already covered part of what I was going to say, the happiness part. So, as I mentioned last night, when this theme was decided upon, actually, there was two main teachings, key teachings, that came to my mind. One was what I said last night, except I didn't remember the whole verse when it came to my mind when this theme came. It was just the second part of it, which said, comes from Thessalonians in the Bible. In all things, in all with capital A-L-L, things give thanks, for it is God's will for you. It was a very absolute instruction and can be very, very challenging. But it's profoundly liberating also. And the other teaching that came to my mind immediately was a teaching that you have heard me say, I think those of you who know me, many times over the years, because I would be quoting our late Swami Brahmanandaji, our very, very revered Vedanta teacher. And people, seekers, often would ask him, how can you tell whether you're progressing, or how do you know whether you're progressing or not? And Swamiji would say, you can tell how much you've progressed by the amount you worry and the amount you complain. So that is And everybody loves that because it is so clear. You kind of immediately get it. And it is the polar opposite of gratitude, giving thanks, but they are very connected. And then when I happened to share this theme with Dr. Dominique, who you will hear in a few days, and some of you met in our testing of our new sound system, she shared with me a couple of videos, short videos, from a Catholic priest. And she said he based his whole ministry on this. And even the reason that first, that give thanks, that actually came from a Protestant pastor. At least I found out about it because he wrote a book called From Prison to Praise. And that book was given to me by a devotee from South Africa, and from the Durban Divine Life Society, and her guru, Swami Sahajanandaji, had given that book to her. And she gave it to my father, Swami Atmasrupanandaji, and I. And we were so struck by the liberating teaching in it that we bought all his books, because he also based his whole ministry on that. And so there were two Christian spiritual leaders, teachers, who based their ministry on this one thing that was gratitude. But it was very interesting because they took quite a different approach. The Protestant pastor, he took it quite literally from the Bible. And, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping ahead. I just want to tell you one more thing. What I decided I needed to do, once I found out that these two Christians had based their ministry on this, then I really realized it is a prominent practice in the Christian tradition, but I had never really heard a talk spoken about gratitude. In all the years I had been here, in the 43 years, no talk had been given about gratitude. And so I really wanted to find out. I asked a friend, has it ever spoken about? And she said, well, it's the foundation. But she actually couldn't really tell me anything specific. And so I really wanted to find out for myself. And I decided, let me go back and read the three main books that my father and I prepared for publication of Swami Chidananda. These were books that I'm very, very familiar with because they've been the backbone of my sadhana for 30 years. But I wanted to take a look. And then I said, let me go back and read these books of the pastor. And because they were given way back in the early 90s. And the first thing I discovered was that I had forgotten half the verse from the Bible. And I had given you the whole verse last night, which says, rejoice evermore. In all things give thanks, for it is God's will for you. Rejoice evermore is one could say, is an intense form of gratitude. That's one way of looking at it. It's happiness, joy. Now, just to tell you the difference between the Protestant and the Catholic. So the Protestant, he said, and it means we can say rejoicing and gratitude can practically be used interchangeably. It's not that rejoicing is a more intense form of gratitude, but it is. But it could be used interchangeably. And the pastor said, we can't really be thankful for anything unless we're actually happy about what we've received. Whereas the Catholic priest said, we are all longing for happiness, just as Swamiji was saying, you are all longing for happiness. We can't really be happy unless we are thankful. So I said, oh, they can be used interchangeably. And then I was quite delighted when I discovered the rejoicing part, because Swamiji does use that term. That's why we actually sang that song last night, Rejoice in the Lord. But I decided, let me find out if there's anything about gratitude and what he says about rejoicing in his books. Because as I say, there was never a talk specifically on it. So I did something I've never done for a talk before. I did a research project. and I did a research, and also included was these 3 books that Swami Atmasrupananda and I prepared for publication. Ponder These Truths, A Call to Liberation, and Seek the Beyond. And then in addition, we will hear a speaker tonight, which is Swami Ramana Charana Tirtha, more commonly known as Sri Nocherji. He only took sannyas very recently. So we're going to hear from him tonight. And he just released an absolutely wonderful commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, 3 huge volumes. And I got one of these, and I was reading that. So I had these 4 texts that I was reading. And my intention was just to look for, is anything said about gratitude that I have forgotten about? Is anything said about rejoicing? So that was my intention. And yet, something completely different happened. Now, just take, there's 35 years I've been reading Swamiji's books, almost a daily part of my sadhana. But when I started to read these books through the lens of gratitude, it was like reading them for the first time ever. It was like a whole new light was there. And I was like, how is this possible? They were so inspiring. They were so liberating. At one point, I was so overwhelmed that I remember typing down, thank you for these liberating teachers. Thank you, Lord, for these great teachers that share these liberating teachings with us. Thank you that we can say thank you. That was kind of the impact of going through this exercise, because what happened was, actually the word gratitude didn't come very often. The word rejoicing didn't come that often. But in looking at them through this lens of gratitude, all of a sudden, every single talk spoke of something that could be connected to gratitude or rejoicing. So this was, and it was like a meditation. And I looked forward, it took me 1 hour of my day, and I'm busy, but every day I looked forward to it, because I thought, what am I going to learn today? And so it was really a wonderful experience preparing for this. It wasn't so much a research project as I was planning to be, but it was much, much more. And I wonder why. That's the power of the teachings of a great saint, which, of course, in India, they say a great saint, a realized being, whatever they say is scripture, so the power of scripture, and the power of gratitude. So I had some anecdotes about happiness, which I think I'll leave aside right now, because there is just a couple of things I wanted to share with you. Because there was another investigation I was curious about, and I wanted to find out about. And that is, what is the authority? By what authority can we say the liberating power of gratitude? Because we all know that, I think even gratitude is a trendy thing in the West now. So we all know gratitude has a powerful effect at the psychological level, can fill one with optimism. And that's not a small thing at all. Swamiji would often talk about the importance of optimism and having a positive state of mind. He says that's the only way of proving we are made in the image of God. But the liberating power, that's a little different. That's looking at it from a much more spiritual point of view. So by what authority did this theme, the liberating power of gratitude, by what authority are we coming up with this particular theme? So I'm just going to share with you a few things. And the first one is the one I've already shared, which is the scriptural instruction, rejoice evermore, in all things give thanks. It's God's will for you. So as we say, it's a very absolute instruction and very powerful and liberating and can be extremely challenging when we really start to get into it. That was one thing. And then I'm just going to share with you one thing that came from Swamiji that was very much in line with that scriptural instruction. And it comes from his book, Ponder These Truths. And the title of the talk is Be Content in Whatever Way God Places You. And what he says in that talk is he says, no matter what condition you may find yourself in, good or bad, gain or loss, success or failure, whether you're facing the worst trouble or tribulation, no matter what, be content. And then he says, rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord. Rejoice in his company, knowing in full trust that whatever is coming from absolute love and wisdom. So that was also that was an instruction. And he really urged us to take seriously this. But it was, no matter what the tribulations, difficulties you're facing, be content. Rejoice in the Lord. Very similar to the scriptural statement. Then there was another thing I was very curious, because these are very devotional practices, the way that is presented. But many people, they're interested in the non-dual teaching. God alone is, and they may say, who is to thank whom? So I was also very curious, and I had my kind of eyes and ears open. What do some of the non-dual teachers say, if anything, about this? And I came across a video and some writing of some very well-respected non-dual teachers, and I'll share with you what they said. Actually, what they said were in response to what their students had experienced. So one student was just saying to the teacher, sometimes I feel this overwhelming gratitude. And the teacher responded, and he said, gratitude in its origin is an experience of your true nature. And then it is an explosion that resonates through the body and mind. And it's felt as gratitude that we're loved by the universe, gratitude that we are invited on this adventure called life, gratitude that we are aware. Gratitude, it is the love of the self for the self. So this is what one non-dual teacher said about gratitude. Then in the other case, a student was saying, he elaborated a bit more, and he says, sometimes when I experience the essence of my being, I will feel this gratitude. And it is immediately a gratitude for being loved and provided for. And it's like a gift, but the giver and the receiver are the same. And the teacher responded by saying, he says, when the mind dissolves into its essence and then reemerges from the essence, it is saturated or replete with the innate qualities of the essence. Gratitude is one of the perfumes of the essence. And he says it feels like the giver and the receiver are the same because from the non-dual understanding, the essence of our being and the essence of the mind are the same. And very interestingly, I was speaking with an academy student several months back. I happened to share with him, this is going to be the theme of our retreat. And he also told me, he says, I've experienced this gratitude. And he said, from this place of gratitude, I saw that everything that had happened to me and is happening to me in my life, it is like it has been perfectly designed for my evolution or my liberation. So that was his experience, very similar to what the non-dual teachers had said. And then there was another great non-dual teacher. He also very much encouraged his students to practice gratitude. So, the first things I was saying already are instructions to practice gratitude and to rejoice no matter what condition we find ourselves. The other two are more the experience. And what it suggests to us is that the goal and the path are the same. The goal and the path are the same. So that was just what I wanted to share with you today, a little bit of an introduction to our theme. Hari Om Tat Sat. And tonight, the satsang will be here. So Marcus will do, say, 15 minutes or so of opening prayers, Jaya Ganesha and the Guru Strota. And we are very fortunate that the talk that I mentioned to you yesterday by Sri Nocherji, or Swami Rama Charana Tirtha, is that the right pronunciation? Yeah. We're really fortunate that talk came in yesterday, last evening, and I listened to it. I cheated, and it is wonderful. So we will hear that. It's the audio, but we'll listen to it here just because the sound system is so much better, and you really don't want to miss a word. I mean, it is like your experience. It's like the experience. He's really transmitting that experience of gratitude. It's a beautiful talk. So we look forward to seeing you tonight, and Hari Om Tat Sat, and see you soon.